to restore them. I'm not sure how you want to say it.
Okay. Should start very soon. Okay, it's working. Hello everyone. I'm Nick. As usual, Andrey and Kirk. Hi. Hello. And we are going to do some vibe hiking. So apparently Postgres already has some code. I wanted to start with this. It's like provoking some discussion maybe, because I know many people don't like the idea of using LLM and so on for development. So Postgres already has some code which was written by Claude 3.7 in January, and Tom Lane committed it recently, and it will be in Postgres 18 unless reverted, because this is what I did. It's very simple patch implementing skip policies for PG restore. Right? I didn't write the code itself, although I looked close with this confession. Right? What do you think, guys, about this?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool, but in that particular case, there was a reviewer, human reviewer, John.
Yeah.
He found some enhancements, and Tom took them in.
He
And
changed
probably
the place. He moved it in different function. It's a great idea. So definitely there are improvements.
yes. But so you started with LLM, and you had some version with LLM, and your new patch is actually like head above that patch. It's more deep. It's more tricky. And the quality of the code is actually better. So let's
Yeah,
go
well,
to your new patch.
the new patch you're discussing, I just realized I didn't send links to social networks, what I usually do. I will do it in a minute. So you're talking about the patch I created. Well, I created. We with LLMs created, and you actually also a little bit you participated in reviewing the first version of it. The patch implements wall compression level, which is a very funny story. Let's start with it. Like last week, Anthropic released Claude 4, so Sonnet and Opus 4. I immediately tested it, asking how to tune wall compression in Postgres. It started saying this, and then mentioned also don't forget to adjust wall compression level, which was added in Postgres 15. I thought, like, maybe I'm missing something in my knowledge. So I went to Google, old school, right? And just wrote wall compression level in double quotes, so exact phrase, right? Exact match. It found something, but at the top it shows Gemini response, AI generated response, right? LLM generated response, and Gemini said wall compression level is Postgres setting to control compression level for wall compression for full page writes, but it doesn't exist. So one LLM hallucinated, another confirmed this hallucination. Then I sent this to you guys, and Andrey said it's actually a good idea to implement, right? So, so LLM shows some reality which doesn't exist, but why not? Although, so this is what I started. I started using Claude Code and then Cursor with Claude and Gemini and GPT. So my current flow is I use Claude Sonnet and Cursor, Claude Sonnet 4, and once patches looks ready and tested, myself I tested and so on, I send it to 3 most powerful models: Claude Opus 4, Gemini 2.5 Pro, and GPT-4 Pro Turbo, GPT-5 Pro, GPT-5. Pro is just a subscription. It's too much already, right? I have many subscriptions. So, and they just do code review, and usually that code review is good. And they found different problems usually. Sometimes they suggest something not really useful, but a lot of stuff is useful. So I consolidate this feedback and go back to cursor and have new iteration. So with that patch, I had maybe 30 iterations before I sent it to hackers. I was thinking, should I reveal that it was heavily like it basically was vibe code? No, but we're already online, right? Yeah, Kirk, I don't hear you at all.
No, it's okay. I just didn't want to overtalk you. So
No problem.
yeah, I there was a background no. So many people don't like hearing that this was, and they're going to
Yes.
downplay it. And
Yes.
and quite frankly, it wasn't just a vibe session and throw it over the fence. You did an excellent job. And by the way, hats off to you because you did review it multiple times with the different
With
LLMs.
Andrey and Andrey also.
Right. And then with Andrey and shared it with us. I took a quick look and I liked what we saw, right, in setting the levels and how it was approaching. So this was excellent. And you stuck through it all the way to the end. Didn't you also kind of consume all of your available paid hours on some of these
I don't know. I still like since I did it until 2 a.m. and couldn't stop. It was really like I enjoyed the process because I don't like writing C code, honestly. It's already 20 years so. But I like to do stuff. I like to implement stuff and see I can change and I can test. It's really like great. And some memory related problem. GPT 4.5 says it's critical issue. Like okay, it looks like critical issue to me as well. Like and then it's fixed by Claude, right? Great. I don't need to spend my time thinking about this. So yeah.
So the
For me,
cycle, and I want to just ask about the cycle you followed because when I use these tools, especially in Cursor, I made a couple mistakes in the beginning and kind of covering these for other people who want to try this. The first thing I learned was I had existing code and I completely had it rewritten and I tried to do it with me touching the code as little as possible. And I found the best approach was to actually set up a test that it could
Oh yes.
validate,
Oh yes.
right? And then teach it how to validate that the code is working and compare to something. So I have, and it helped write the testing even for me, but it was able to say, okay, I'm getting the same results from the old version and the new version now. And then as it made the changes, I had it always check and see what broke. And that made for a much more efficient process because it would catch its own mistakes easier and go, oh, I made a mistake, and then and do this cycle. And so I'm curious if you'll talk about how you set that up to help work through this, but they're your
So
iterations.
so yeah, you talk about TDD, test-driven development, and usually when you code manually, you're lazy and you don't write a lot of tests, right? In this case, you can be not lazy at all because it's not you who writes a lot of tests, right? So it's really I noticed I noticed tests were super important. So tests and also interesting point docs because when we write docs at early stage, it's also in case of LLM and yourself, it feels like also specification. It's not test in strict form, but you already described what you want to achieve. So with like I noticed like tests and docs should come earlier. Actually, I start thinking how to uh, accumulate like tips of vibe hacking or something. You know, like what do's and don'ts. So don'ts definitely if you want to do pure vibe coding, not looking at code, it's not all right.
Correct.
This is not good. Yeah, yeah.
actually, I'm mostly interested, was it AI or was it human decision? Like most important human or design most important design decision in your patch was when you switched from design proposed by hallucination, like wall compression level.
Yeah,
At some point, you decided to switch to wall compression, which
yeah.
is
It was my
using
decision.
number
It was
inside.
my
It
decision. Yeah, because we had problems like and so I was talking to Claude Sonnet, Claude Opus 4, GPT 4.5, and Gemini, and like group of 4 LLMs and me, one human. So, And we were like, we couldn't achieve agreement what to do with defaults. If you have all compression level, what 0 means, what -1 means, like depending on, and then you also mentioned actually in your code review was a line like what will happen with if in future some different compression algorithm will have different meaning for 0. So it, and then like
this is the most important decision. This is the pivotal for all the patch.
I said, you know, like, and also in parallel we have a couple of processes in our work and consulting. We have processes. One guys migrate from RDS to Hetzner, like self-managed Postgres, and something else. So guys needed to do a lot of work with pgdump. And I mentioned notice compression levels, and I thought, interesting. I'm thinking about compression here and there it already developed, and it's a single parameter combining to both method and level in one piece. So I thought it makes sense to implement it the same way here, right? Probably.
So the key decision is not just intellectual decision, it's coincidental. Something happened in the outside world and told that you should switch to decision that is now obvious when we know it. It's not
purely outside world. It's I noticed that Postgres already has this decision made in different part of Postgres, right? So why should we repeat it differently, right? There is precedence.
And that was my first comment out of it too, right? So the first thing I saw when I started looking at your patch was, well, is it consistent with how they do it in pgdump, pgrestore? Because, we already know that that's there. And so without knowing that you had already looked into it.
Actually, now I realize this is you who pushed me to this direction. I thought about this, but you already, like your comment was final, like drop on this.
Push you over the edge.
Yeah. So decision was made with involving Kirk's brain as well. So yeah, and then like LLM didn't make this decision. I didn't see proposal like this, but then a lot of hard work was done by LLM, because for me it would take many days. I am pretty sure.
But LLM knew about pgdump.
Yes.
It had all the information. We just cannot push it with like all the vibes that are around us.
But the question becomes is if you prompted it to go look for that. Like, is there an example of this anywhere in this code base that we could leverage?
There is an interesting point. It's with humans, it's the same. Like if you have task, I specified the task like let's implement wall compression level. It takes some courage to go outside the task and say, we are not going to implement wall compression level, but instead we're going to extend wall compression setting itself, because this is already outside the task, strictly speaking, right? So not every human can do this, and maybe we should.
I think LLMs are good at thinking outside of the box. So if you give them riddles and puzzles, they solve it well.
No, you need to say, go outside. You need to say this. Like they also try to please you, right? Like they if I said let's brainstorm various ideas how to implement it better, let's have wide thinking, in this case we probably would see it.
So I'm also curious about your flow a little bit more, because I noticed mine changed. And so one of the things I try to use them mostly real time when I'm programming through most of the day, just for quick answers, not do my coding for me. What I found is as I'm older, I used to be able to program 16, 18, 20 hours. I can't do that anymore. What I now can do though, is I can kind of exhaust myself during the day with the day job, take a break, and then come back and do more of a vibe programming structure. Okay. Where since I'm not doing the actual thinking through some of the harder parts of the problem, I can actually change mode and get extra time out and get extra output out. So I'm curious how that, plays into maybe how you used it to wrap this up, to get this done.
Yeah, well, for me, it was slow iterations, then very fast iterations, because I wanted to finish like tonight. That's why I was until 2 a.m. I was doing this. But I agree with like it's you feel you can write more, you can move faster. This is most important. But also I feel if I not paying attention to detail, it will be some bullshit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's the piece where I wouldn't want to be advertising as I put it out for review that this was, coded up, completely by the LLMs,
Yeah,
so
it's not
cool.
completely, but I didn't write any line of code. That's it. it's true. I checked all the lines, but I didn't write them. So and
when you
yeah.
use IDE, is it like, does it understand that this is a code base and this is a patch? This is what we are working on, not full code base, but only this patch.
So what I think, first of all LLMs know Postgres code. They remember Postgres code base quite well. This is big advantage compared to some project which is not open source, old project like discussed many times over internet, right? Because if you have some different project, LLM doesn't know anything about it. It's different. Here we have LLM like generally like remembering some discussions about some pieces of Postgres, and then it's like it just it doesn't see everything. It needs to explore code like we do when we think about something, right? Like I think there should be some improved version of specified, like I feel potential to have some tool which will know this code base much better, maybe using fine tuning or something, which would know decisions made like over the last few years based on commit
Most
history.
worried not about knowledge of code base, but knowledge of a unit of work, that we are working on a patch, not a whole code base. We don't want to change everything. I want to prevent like shotgun surgery. It's changing something here, something there, and all over the places. And I wanted to keep small footprint of a patch.
Focus.
Yes. I feel lack of it in Cursor when I code. And I don't have actually too much of experience because my workflow is very simple. I just ask it to code something. I see that everything is wrong and I code it myself. But I mean, I get a lot of endorphins. I like to code. So it doesn't do like it doesn't
but this
take
is you who provoked us to look at Cursor and Claude. Like
I start with Cursor, and when everything's wrong, I do everything myself to get my happiness.
This reminds me how I write texts recently. Like I need to write a letter or something. I also ask LLM to write it. Then I don't like it at all and rewrite it completely. But this inspires me and it brings some ideas sometimes, right? But so it can be used as starting point sometimes, right? In case if you know C very well and so on. Anyway,
Awesome.
I don't know where it's going. I actually I just feel very glad that some my small patch committed Postgres 18. I didn't know actually somehow, and I feel I have like 2 or 3 more ideas for 19 maybe. So and I can do it asynchronously just for fun. Let's see how it goes. Yeah. So thank you for good words.
Don't forget to sleep first.
Yeah.
At night. It's actually hacking is like
addictive.
Keeping you endorphins are keeping you up
alive,
at night, but
awake.
you need to sleep.
Yeah.
Yes, you need to sleep.
Yeah. Anyway, what are we doing today?
So I think today we should talk about a previous patch. We created a patch to track the LSN of dropped objects in the database and make sure they're recorded in a log file. The game plan was, because this isn't happening naturally, if someone drops a table or drops something, a schema, whatever, if they drop these objects today, there's no log entry. And the thing is, if you want to figure out where to restore to somewhere else and stop the playback so you don't capture this, it wasn't obvious, wasn't readily available. And someone else on the team brought, and I forgot who had the idea, maybe Andrey, maybe Nick, had the idea that, wow, well, right before we drop it, what if we got the LSN and then we recorded that in the log file? And this would give an easy way for someone in support to maybe, if you got PG backrest or something running, to go ahead and say, hey, recover this up to this point, and then let me grab that data, and then I can go restore something for somebody. Because of that logic, I think it was Andrey maybe who brought this forward. Anyway, so we coded the patch. Jim, and I forget his last name, gave us some feedback on it, and he helped enhance the patch. We accidentally then applied some of his feedback to our original version of the patch, and we excluded his changes, which were actually solid changes. So I think what Andrey and I and Nick were talking about earlier were, how about we pick that back up? Because we're getting support from Jim, and he's one of the committers and support, on the program. We're getting support from him. So let's go back and review, bring his changes in, apply the other changes, and push this back out so that he can keep working. Because, we, along the way, I like to remind all my tech teams, it's never about the technology, but it's always about the people. Okay, so if you treat people well, and respond in kind, you'll tend to get much further. The technology is a plus, but without the people, if there were no other person on the planet, you don't need an iPhone. So anyhow, so I think that's what we were talking about picking up.
Right.
Andrey?
And
Go
we
ahead.
never sent this yet to hackers, right? So it was.
We sent it before the first pass. I don't know if we sent the second pass. Yeah.
Okay.
So, do I code or Nick or
you? No.
Okay.
Yeah. We're gonna.
Okay.
So Nick and I, by the way, I think it's fair to remind that in these hacking sessions, it kind of works like vibe coding for Nick and I. And in our case, Andrey's the LLM.
Much better than LLM.
Yeah, amazing too. Much better. We're calling him now, from now on, we're calling him Andrey 2.0.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay, so we have our version that is. Let me find it somewhere. Sen v3. Oh, it's not patch, it's just a diff type.
Yeah, 2 P's, 1 L.
So here's our version, and what's good about it? It is extending core code to make callbacks of a transaction and actually receiving LSN when the transaction was committed or aborted or ended for some reason. That's what we did, actually using some kind of vibe coding, I do not remember. And that's technical way that is done correctly by us. Here is a patch by Jim Jones. And I know if it's well visible, there's a patch from Jim Jones from February. And he made more attentions to details. What kind of attentions? First, he proposed to have a GAC, actually add the config log DDL LSN.
Nice.
And that's like design decision that looks good to me. I think we should observe it. Also, he proposed not just drop table, but also think about drop schema and truncate. I'm not sure it's all that we want. So the set of operations does not look coherent to me. If we can ask some hardware mind if this
Well,
If they can suggest anything else, let's ask about it.
if we name it, if name the setting log DDL LSN should be everything, right? All DDL, alter table, create index. But do we need it? Like, can you imagine a situation when we need to know LSN
Something
right before
table existed?
or before
Doesn't.
index was created or dropped? Well, drop index actually I can imagine. Plan flip happened and we want to know exactly when it happened. But I don't know. LSN, right? Yeah, LSN. I'm curious only about timestamp in case of index drop.
Mm-hmm.
LSN is not useful, I think, because we are not going to restore, right? So
If you logged the LSN, it would give you the timestamp of that drop, right? If you logged it for a drop index, even though you would never use it for the restore, it would guarantee that the timestamp is there, unless there's another way to guarantee it. But I think these are enough for now. I don't think of the only other thing is drop database.
drop database, I also thought. Well, I like the idea of drop schema, for example, and so on, because it can be cascade. In this case, it's going to
That's actually a drop table too, for any tables that's there.
Right. So I mean, if drop schema, if it's empty, nobody cares. But if it contains something, and cascade option was used.
Okay, and what else was done actually? Like, actually, Jim also made like improved formatting a lot, used proper arguments and all that stuff. That like usually we don't have enough time on a hacking session to be attentive to this kind of things. I think that's it. That is all what I found in his patch enhancement over our version. How do we absorb it? Apply our version and tell cursor what do we want, or do we want to make it by hand typing?
I don't know. Up to you.
It's your call. Andrey
Okay.
2.0, you can choose to use your friend. Claude.
Okay, let's try to use cursor. I don't know where I was. Okay. A lot of Postgres in my home directory. So let's start with GAC that we want to add. Where do I type a query actually?
There, it's on the side panel, right?
Yeah, on the right.
Here
There you
is
go. You're down at the bottom. That's where you're typing. Oh, it was there. Oh, there you go. Got it.
How do I explain to cursors that I already have a patch applied?
Just say it. We have Postgres code base and patch applied, and it implements something. We can copy paste it from
Postgres code base to log scan of table drop when it is actually drop.
Sometimes I will ask it if it can do a get diff and just acknowledge the differences that exist, like to help it zoom in on what was changed. And then what's pretty cool is it'll actually generate the get command and let you execute it usually, right?
Okay, do you see my prompt?
Yep.
Yes.
Let's spell the word change correctly if you want. It'll get it correct. You got an extra C.
I think also
No, the first one. I've changed. There you go. That's it.
Okay, and now I want this feature to be behind GAC. How did he name it behind GAC? Also, please add support for similar. Oh. That's it?
Change it to schema instead of scheme. Cool. And logging instead of login. G at the end. No. G, put your G back. Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Good. And perhaps also
I typically don't overload the LLM with too much at once. But go ahead.
It's hardware. We cannot overload it. Also, please use
Kirk. I when I was like I said like I reviewed with strong LLMs, and they like have like list of 10 comments, and I started feeding comment by comment first. I did it many times, and then I started like
before we do anything,
lazy,
let's
so I
commit
started
everything.
combining multiple comments.
You check out.
Okay.
Start
and then I fed like all 10 comments to Cursor, and it worked well.
Yeah, but were they numbered when you sent the 10? Were they numbered 1 through 10?
Yes.
Yeah, that makes it easier.
Yeah.
I find if you paragraph it, it can get confused. So, but if you enumerate, it does a much better job because it focuses on each one separately, it appears.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It's doing something. It's doing something faster than I can read. So it actually did a git diff. Oh, I committed changes. It doesn't see anything in git diff.
In the diff?
But can do git log and see the changes from previous commits. Why not, right? We can ask about this.
Right now, or wait for competition?
What I like about Cursor, you can ask anytime, it will be interrupted. Unlike Claude Code, which will just
where you have to stop it.
Yeah, it
like this.
You just send it and it will interrupt.
Let me check before actually suggest one.
Pair programming sessions, because you can interrupt your partner and like, no, let's do this. Not everyone can handle it. As I noticed. Yeah.
Should I use please? Or just
you can. You can, it doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
Also, the other thing I've noticed in the last 4 to 6 months is they're adding a lot of niceties in the responses, like over complimentary. And it kind of bothers me because I feel like I'm being manipulated.
I know Anthropic has the whole team like for character improvements, like to improve character of their Claude. And I told you, right? I didn't like Gemini, at least before the release 2.5. I didn't like it character. It was really manipulative or like passive aggressive or something. I also heard someone at a recent conference. There was a couple of talks related to AI, and somebody said they fine-tuned some model feeding PGSQL hackers mailing lists, and the model became very
aggressive.
Something like this.
Something's going wrong. It's looking for something, it cannot find it. Table comments is looking. Oh, it is looking. It's it or he or she? It? Probably.
Doesn't matter. I actually don't see the model you chose, because I think your Cursor version is slightly outdated. Because in my interface, I see the model right to this agent on the right. So if can you check the version? I'm curious what version you have.
It is actually finding difficulties with what it's doing, and it's retrying. So if you're paying close attention to what it's telling you, I know it's moving kind of fast, but it found a problem, and let me try a different approach. Let me search for where the callback is registered. So, yeah, this is. And just, I'm going to raise the flag here. I thought what you were going to do was ask it to take a look at Jim's patch and our patch kind of separately and bring them together for us, like, and recommend the changes that would merge those changes together, as opposed to asking it to implement pieces that Jim already implemented, or did he just suggest?
Oh, so I could do two branches
Mm-hmm.
and commit them both and say that this is one
Or
branch, this
just
is
drop
another
files.
branch.
You could just drop files or even copy paste it. Why not?
Yeah, or both separate patch files, and have it kind of figure it out.
Yeah, it should work. I think.
Yeah, because this is hard to follow at this point.
That's how to combine two patches.
Should we
One.
restart everything or
Why restart? I would just
no,
say
just wait?
let's
So
do
it seems like it has finished.
And actually, it made some changes. You see, accept all button on the right. It means that there are some changes made. So we can check it and.
I think I just do it like
Yeah.
this way.
Mm-hmm.
So schema drop callback. Okay, looks good to me. Also, Jim made this part better. He also prints schema and table. In this case, it doesn't matter. It's just a schema drop. What is going on here? It says rewritten something, and I don't like what it is doing. It looks like it found something that is issue not.
Yeah, I think it stepped a little too far over bounds. I like the idea of maybe giving it the two patches and having it see what it can do to merge them instead. This was a little too creative for it. This makes me nervous. But
Oh yes.
Yeah, we can
I'll be right back.
undo the
This
changes.
stuff with syscache is actually scary to me. When
Yeah,
it's done by
let's ask to
LLM.
undo the changes and try to the idea of combining two patches.
Like all changes.
Well, maybe, yeah, if we don't like all changes, say like undo everything. Or just git reset, right? Or something.
So do I say please undo everything, read this file and combine.
Yeah, I would first undo, make sure everything is clean, you know, because
I can
otherwise
just git check out and that will undo everything.
it also can do git check out. You can say do git check
Like,
out.
does it need continuity? It like if I was doing something on code base and something else would change code base when I'm changing it, I would be very scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need
Probably,
to tell it the context.
Yeah,
you say just tell it to reset everything using git checkout, and you're going to start at a different path, and then it should understand. Yep.
I cannot actually do git checkout.
Why not?
Why?
I'm afraid it is destructive operation, and probably it should be afraid to do it on my code base. I mean, it's totally fine for me to run it, but if a program is running something like that,
well, not only it can do git checkout. Like first of all, it asked already some permissions, but and you can control everything, right? So you can
basically, if it can run git checkout, it can run anything. It can host a web server.
Yes, this is what I already doing. We not only did git checkout, we ran make install, complaining about permissions, asked sudo make install. A couple of times I provided password. You can like interfere, put your password and return operation. Then
so I would
So also like we also did something SSH. We also did
Wow.
a couple of times it asked but it asked permissions, like it asked, can I read this file? I want to read something on GitHub, some markdown file to like some documentation. I said, yeah, go ahead, read it. So, and then I realized I actually can start benchmarking Postgres using this, but this is a different story on remote servers.
So what's the file you want it to read?
I want to say send it a file of Jim's patch, like this one.
Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah. And then our patch or okay.
No, our patch already committed in this code base, right?
Okay, good. Perfect.
Yes, yeah, and it saw it before, I hope.
Also notice this button for screenshots. Sometimes there is some problem which is hard to describe in words. You just provide screenshot and it's much faster. Some error or something, I just boom, here it is.
So again, it is done. Let me like see it how I usually do it. Okay, this part looks perfectly. It's absolutely that's just good.
But you want to table as well.
Starting again. Why this change is made? Why? So it essentially repeated its change before. Probably it knows something. It's for a reason. It's so just it's I do not understand why it is doing, but that's a problem in me, not in.
So did we do git checkout or git reset or something to revert them? I haven't paid attention. So
I don't know how to see what he has done.
It's here. Git checkout.
Okay. It has done actually git checkout and reverted.
But git checkout, its local changes are preserved anyway, right? It's just switching.
No, it reverted changes into files.
And then redo them, redid them.
And then it has redone it again.
That's weird. Let's ask maybe why do put extra changes.
Okay, so what I want to ask, I have this remove changes in remove objects function, and I do not understand them.
So have it explain it.
Please explain changes in. I do not understand why they are necessary, and I'm afraid of anything that touches this cache. Cache without Okay.
So it fixed it. It took it out because it was maybe unnecessary and risky.
Instead of
hop over to your other screen and look at the source now.
Oh, anything changed?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, but now changes just feel better. I don't see like syscache tuple stuff, and it doesn't scare me. Now it got what scares me. These changes still look unnecessary, but it's just it's just formatting change. This change seem okay. I'm just fine. Why do we have this? What is LSM?
Well, it created the LSN object so that it could then, and it assigned it as an invalid, which is good in case you use it before it gets initialized.
It's logging now schema drop, not when a transaction is committed, but when we actually issued drop schema. Let's try it.
Wait. Why do you do something yourself?
I'm compiling.
Yeah,
We're going to give it a test.
You could ask it.
It
should do
it doesn't compile, actually.
That's great. Like
Good, have it fix it.
Yeah. Asking cursor to compile. It will see the error and we will think how to fix
Yeah.
it together.
Do it from cursor.
Oh, cursor? Compile it?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is what I'm trying to explain like third time already.
Yeah.
Let's build, let's test.
Give it the command you use.
Code and fix issues.
And then, but tell it the command you use.
Don't tell the command, it will figure it out.
Oh, it will. With J12?
Let's see. Yeah. Well, it used not like it knows it's Mac and uses some command to get a number of cores.
Oh, cool. So look at that. LSN was not declared.
And
an LSN format macro was not properly defined.
Imagine we needed to explain all of this. It's too much work, you know.
Actually, I could just fix it myself.
Yeah,
it's just a few minutes.
You yes. For me,
I doubt it will make it actually faster.
My job on a lot of the meetings is to actually take the notes. And trust me, Copilot is taking over that portion of my job. My job is now to orally make sure I clarify actions, who they're assigned to, and that they get recorded properly. But yeah, things are changing.
Yeah, we had a meeting yesterday. We had several meetings yesterday, and one of them was without circle back AI.
So it's asking you if you want to do the make again. Say, yeah. Do you have to apply all those changes, Nick? Do you usually have to hit accept all and then say yes?
Accept. This is like, as I understand, this is local acceptance of changes, and I noticed it's like optional.
Okay.
Yeah, it means like the changes on the left, if they're already made, we're already testing them. So it edited 4 files, and you can say accept those edits.
Oh, now it's asking me to make. Okay.
That's weird. Maybe it lacks permissions. Because the problem with this, like, we will need to copy paste the output to show what's wrong, right?
Okay, it builds.
Well, now I know you're going to do a kill -9 on something and then right now.
I need to find. Yeah, this is the simplest installation. So we want to create schema test1, create table test1, test2, that log DDL and send to on dropped schema test1. No, that's not allowed to test. begin, begin,
Mhm.
begin. Drop table.
Test one dot test two.
Okay, nothing is logged.
Now
Drop
you want to look at the
schema.
log.
Yeah, it's not happened actually yet, but it's already logging listen. And now when we commit, it's logging the table was dropped. Create table test 3. Begin. Drop
Notice
table.
it logged again. You see? When at create table, it logged again dropping
Uh-huh.
table. This is not
Indeed, that's a bug too. We need to unregister callback when it's done. I
would
think this
just
bug was in previous version too.
Mhm.
Okay, roll back. Nothing happened. Commit. Commit something. Yeah, that's a funny
Yeah.
bug. So,
I would just copy paste this to cursor and ask to fix. If you, yeah, I know you're afraid. It's easier to fix yourself.
no, I'm fine with it. So, here's the log
I would ask.
which
I would try this. Try this. Do you see the bug? Like ask it. Do you see the bug?
I don't want to tease it. Like,
No. Yeah, I
here
mean,
are bugs.
no. Are we on the same page, understanding the nature of bug? This is a key.
This is a bug.
It explains.
Yeah.
If it
I
explains
mean, I
differently,
see at least three
That's
bugs
okay.
here.
Let it.
Three
okay.
different.
Let's let it
Do
cook.
like, do you see
Paste
three
it
bugs
in.
here
No,
or
no.
just
Just
one?
let's see what it finds.
I realize we work with LLMs very differently.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Can we ask it to make tests actually out of this?
not yet.
Probably doesn't
That's a
doesn't
good-
know how tests how our regression tests are working.
Of course, it knows it definitely because this is benefit. Postgres codebase is very well known for
Yes,
all LLMs,
please.
so I'm
Fix
pretty
it.
sure it can write tests.
Actually, before you fix it, you want to
T-
ask it
T-
to
T-
create a test so
TDD.
that the make test, right? Can you
Wait.
ask it to create the test so that the make install test will validate it?
It didn't spot a bug with schema drop.
That's okay.
So what to do?
I would first start because the trick is we want to teach it to help us find the bugs faster, right? So I would have it create a test that identifies this bug first and does the make install, right? The make run test piece that actually exemplifies the bug. Then I'd have it fix it and prove it's fixed. And for me, what I try to do is develop a working relationship that we can lean on in the future more, right? Because now we can identify the next bug that it missed and say, can you write a test case for that bug, right? That it's accidentally not doing it's doing it after every commit and it's relogging stuff it shouldn't. And then capture it and then
So,
see if it can fix it.
current prompt is it
Yep.
what you would
Yep.
suggest?
But make a test. Yeah, I would have told it specifically using the command that tells it to do the make install test.
It knows it. It knows it.
Does
Guys,
it really?
We'll
overthinking.
see.
All LLMs saw Postgres code base many times.
Okay.
All LLMs saw all discussions and hackers and everywhere. All comments.
Figuring it
It,
out.
it,
It's
it is
going to the
looking
right place.
for
Okay, you have to admit that's pretty cool, Andrey.
Yes, that's pretty cool.
All right.
I told you I haven't written any code. So
It actually started tests.
yeah.
Good.
They're running now. It doesn't start tests as I do it. It's running install check.
You can ask. You can adjust. Actually, there is an option to have additional pre-prompts, right? So
I think it understands that we have a running installation and it wants to test it against our installation.
Mhm.
It understands that we have a running installation on this computer where I am typing and interfering with it.
because when
And
you run configure, it sees like
let's see.
prefix and
So basically, it is issuing queries to. That's, I don't know why she's doing it.
Hmm.
Okay, let's do it. Let it do it. Oh, perhaps that's not what it was expecting. Ah, one test failed.
It should fail because the bug is not fixed, right? Now it's fixing.
Let's see what's okay. Yes. Uh, Actually, I'm on a free plan, so I didn't pay a cent for it yet.
So we have not. Yeah, this is what I wanted to check. What we are using.
How do I do it?
It's in settings on the right top corner. This setting button. Yeah, and yeah, upgrade is
Upgrade to
here.
Pro.
Yeah. So.
What do I get if I upgrade to Pro? I get a smarter
models,
model.
check models on the left. So I'm curious what we are using right now, because I think also, can you check the version of cursor if you click on the Apple button on the very left corner? Yeah, and version. Oh, no, cursor. I mean, not Apple cursor. Yeah. Oh, 050, and in my case, it's also 050. Okay. Yeah, so you have latest version. So if you upgrade, you will get Sonnet 4, for example, and more credits, because they have like 5. If you every month you have 500 basically questions to Sonnet 4 and all top tier models. Then you need to switch to pay as you go model. I don't understand the model we're using right now, because my interface is slightly different somehow.
Yeah, it says it's using. Well, all I see is agent as opposed to which agent.
Yeah, at the right side of the agent, I see model. Why you don't see it is strange. I sent you a screenshot.
It's auto
Okay,
model.
that's why you don't see it, right? So if you can switch to Sonnet 4,
Non-auto.
yeah. If you uncheck it, switch to Sonnet
But
4.
it's working. Why change something that I don't understand? It's working.
Okay, if you satisfied with results, all good, right?
Well, definitely, it's doing something, fixing something.
Yeah.
Let's share some knowledge with LLM.
Yeah.
Okay, so tests now pass.
Nice.
At,
So now
at
what's the
least
next there? Yeah.
I want to see what it actually changed. I want to make sure there are no serious changes.
That doesn't look like a lot of change.
That no. I don't think we need this. Can I just say I doubt we need this. It is deleting the test. Wait, what are you doing? Can I revert back? How far it will reject
I
all?
don't know. I'm also this is not good.
Yeah, you
Did
could.
it reject?
There was the revert option to revert that back.
Okay, so
Just tell it, not us. Tell it here, saying like, I need a test.
Oh, there's no differences anymore. It reverted everything.
Yeah. Looks so.
yes, it removed everything that it had coded. I mean,
I think it's because you didn't ever hit the accept all, and then it couldn't separate the revert from reverting all.
Good thought. Maybe.
Try your diff again. Did it make any? Wow.
It's very weird. Shouldn't be so. But maybe we're looking at a different directory or something, because we're definitely doing something.
But it was just working here before.
Maybe it already committed everything. That's why we don't see git diff.
no, it didn't. Just start of a white cooling.
Okay. Where's all it? Like, I don't understand. I've made improvements, but where?
Oh, here we can restore to checkpoints. Here's a checkpoint.
There you go.
Recovery from backups.
Yes, it actually is a good place. So now we have, yeah, everything's still here. It works. It's just buggy, but we can fix it. How do I? Let's just leave this in place. I'm afraid to touch it.
Yes. Enough.
So let's give it another bug. Create an empty database. Create schema test1. Set log ddl lsm to draw. Begin. Drop schema test1. Roll back. Okay, that we will give it to the model, but let's check that we don't have previous bug. Create table test for begin drop table test for roll back. The bug doesn't seem to be fixed. It fixed something, probably. Okay, let's try again. Bugs to fix. I know. Will it be scared if I commit everything? Because previous state was like step forward.
Yeah, go. I mean, it doesn't bother me if you commit everything.
We can always squash commits. It's local Git, right?
Well, would it be surprised by? Okay.
Well, this is why I do everything through cursor. Like if you want commit, ask it to commit.
Right. And that's the other thing, accept the changes. Hop back over to cursor down where it says accept all. I would click on that above your prompt box where you're blinking to the right. Accept the changes though. Do the accept all on that little button. 1 inch up and 1 inch to the right. There you go. Yeah, you just moused over it. Okay.
It looks like it's not pressed still.
Yeah, did you press the accept all button?
Not yet. I
Well, I would
asked it to commit everything that was before.
Okay.
Oh, it's running tests against our installation. So we see some outputs of it working with our installation.
I think we test, go ahead. Yeah, you can do that. But I think we go ahead and do some other tests, make sure it looks good to us, right? Are you in the other prompt at all? You're not like keeping it busy in PC.
Sorry, didn't get.
Yeah, there. That may have stopped it from doing the test, right?
Why?
I do not
connection.
understand what you want. Remove. Yeah, I think it doesn't understand that these changes were actually its changes.
I even don't understand what we are dealing with which model, because weak models are weak.
And that's one of the problems if you're not on the paid version, is we could have just got stepped down into a weaker model that's going to make mistakes and not completely understand where we're at in the process, because it's auto picking these. Yeah, this I
So
how
just disable auto.
well, and see if you can use, okay, it was trying to use Claude 4 Sonnet, right? Go ahead, choose Claude 4 Sonnet. Yeah.
It's already chosen.
Yeah. Yeah. So go ahead and well, I mean, this just seemed way more complicated than I thought we were going to compare the two patches and apply a combined version. This got
Yeah. I think we had the weaker model used or something like this.
Probably so.
Mhm.
Okay, so how do I upgrade to Pro?
Yeah, just tell me your card
go.
number. I will do it myself. I'm joking. So stop
Yeah.
screen sharing if you want to use like something. Yeah, okay. So it was easier to do everything yourself, right? Or
Oh, I don't know. Actually, it's I don't know. I have mixed feeling. Like it was doing very well, but at some point, it seems to like switched to weak model. So, what's our plan? Like, I'm not sure I can switch right now to Pro model. Maybe let's
No.
together
Yeah,
next week.
let's do it. And I think I can play with both patches myself to see how it works on my end. Like and let's, so to speak, regroup later, right?
Can I export the chat so you can give
I
it
don't
to
know.
your?
Usually you can.
Export chat. Yeah, there is export chat. If you so at the right top corner there are three dots.
He got it. He did it already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did it. So I will send you the chat.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
And you can try. So Alpha, I should send you a Git repository with a current version. That's interesting. What's inside the chat? It's basically just dialogue. Will it actually parse all that?
Yeah. It's amazing. It's like it's a large language model.
Okay, anyway, mixed feelings. Let me play with it asynchronously a little bit, then we will discuss.
Okay.
And
so
yeah, I guess
perhaps
yeah.
Perhaps let's meet next Wednesday.
Sounds good. Yeah, let's do it.
I have the time.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. See you soon.